We have things to talk about.
Yeah, I missed you. Did you miss us? That's how I feel about the sun. It's like, sun, oh, the sun's back.
Yes.
Yeah, inspired 2-year old. So today we are talking about power, and we'll be covering the call for the truth divination card that's associated with the solar plexus. And our maxim today is the power that makes solar systems, galaxies, universes, and beyond is the same power that animates our body systems. Don't be afraid to look inside. So we titled this video, Stop Going Outside, Go Inside. Go in the house. Come back in the house. And there's so many different spaces I'd like to explore this, but obviously what we have been experiencing within the light body and the necessity to re-identify solar identity. We are solar technology. We're amplifying this, bringing your solar plexus, your power in, and how that influences everything, how that influences speech, how it influences our presence, our biology, our posture, everything, what we're broadcasting, our capacity to manifest. If only we knew that we were one, which the book further says, you are one. So you have any initial introductory thoughts before we go into our announcements?
I'm so excited about this idea of exploring power because we have been very slack with our understanding of our power. We're very uninformed and not clearly attached to the idea of power. We're much more attached to the idea of weakness and being victims and being, maneuvered and hurted. But power doesn't allow for that. It really doesn't allow for that. But often humanity is identified as weak and cajoled and mistreated and enslaved, and it goes on and on and on. And we often think of ourselves that way as things present themselves in our world. We think, oh, they're trying to do that. We're not thinking we have the power to stop that. We are the power that everyone is trying to get.
Yeah.
Then we got it backwards.
Inside out, upside down. Yeah. So this is going to be a really good podcast.
I think
because there's so many events around us, whether it's personal, whether it's within our collective, or human consciousness itself, experiencing this.
In all the relationships where we have attributed power to the other person in the relationship, and then we feel they have done something to us, but we were the ones who gave them the power.
That's right. It was you.
Yes.
That's right. But this ain't about guilt. It's about, let me reclaim my power and my responsibility. Oh, look what I did. Did I do that? Yes, you did. And learning to, I've been noticing this idea of retention. Keep your power in, and it's so, it feels counterintuitive because it's like consciousness looks outward, and it's like this habit of let me spill out power, and there's this leakage. But no, I'm keeping it in. But in the keeping it in, it allows you to.
So that actually is
radiate.
The law. The law is that you keep what is real.
Keep going. You got me. I'm like, yeah.
So we are eternal beings. We move through this lifetime. I often say nobody gets out of this alive. But what we leave behind is what is not real. What we take with us is the strength we earn through these lessons. It is not a bad thing that we're in a poor relationship that forces us to change. Because we get to keep the strength. We come back here strong.
That's right.
We get to keep it. We don't have to keep all that other stuff unless we just don't care to use the necessary energy to release it.
And so that's a whole nother story too, which I think is very worthwhile exploring.
Yeah, but doesn't that feel good?
It does.
You just talked about the law.
Yeah,
you said, I want to, like, that's the law. You have to keep, you get to keep the strength. You get to keep the lessons. You get to keep the beauty. You get to keep the clarity into the next expression of the next thing you do. We don't have to be mad at people. We just have to realize, oh, I didn't know that, so I gave them the power, so then they slapped the hell out of me with it, and now if I move my way through it and release it, I become greater.
That's right.
I'm not really looking at the other self because I have become greater, they have to. So there's that.
Yeah, win-win. This is interesting, and again, there's so many thoughts arising. However, I'm going to dive into these announcements.
Oh,
keep
I
you all
was
up to
already
date.
there. Don't worry.
I know. I was like a little sampler, a little introduction, a
And I
little
just
bite
kept
size, and
going.
you're like, no, we're up. Here's your appetizer. Matter of fact, we're about to bring out your main dish. All right. So speaking of dish, we made Mediterranean food today. So myself at Harvest Man Kitchen, we had Diane here, Lautz's grandson Aubryon. We made homemade falafels from scratch. We also made homemade hummus. We made some delicious salad, which it was unique because we had this fermented dried chips to garnish. It was from like literal cultured veggies. And then we made avocado bread. Avocado, egg, dairy-free cheese, and seasoned it up to our liking.
And you forgot to mention the homemade horseradish dressing.
Well, that's right. So everything homemade. Come down at the Harvestman Cafe.
It was delicious.
Yeah. So that was fun, and
Power.
yeah, it's
Power
good things
in
popping.
everything.
That's right.
Yeah, power.
And so if you're here, thank you again for joining us in our live stream. And we're in the month of April. Spring's here.
Yes.
Sun's back. Pollen's in the air. And this month, one of our main classes is quantum light property clearing. And so some of you all who tune in, you may have noticed that we've been releasing something called the Quantum Light Property Clearing Chronicles, which has been
Yay.
through Diane's programming channel on High Frequency Living via Inlakesh Studio One. So we have Diane, myself, Lauren, and Tiffany of the Sun, all of us together sharing our stories about property clearing.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing some really good things, some feedback, primarily from the clearers, being inspired because the uniqueness of all the different perspectives that we bring towards clearing, it shows all these possibilities in ways that like gets those gears turning and seeing like, oh, you know what? I'm not maximizing my clearing. Let me do this and that. So it's been so satisfying to hear that from people. And every fourth Friday, you can catch us at 7 p.m. Live stream on this channel. You had any thoughts on
Oh, I do.
Quantum Chronicles?
Quantum property clearing is so rich because when you truly go to deconstruct the negative that has accumulated in a space or a place, you actually learn the mechanics of how things come together. And you also see the unseen aspects of what has taken place with humanity that is undercover. So you learn how the universe works so that you can dismantle constructs that are against humanity.
Yeah.
It's
a power play. It's a power move.
It's about our card today. It's about
Yeah, it is. I didn't even realize I'm just power.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's really about power.
Yeah, so I often think about how the dark forces who have set up these systems that we exist in, they have done so knowing that the field influences us, and there's this perpetuating
the field
cycle, and
influences
like I remember when I first learned about quantum light property clearing, and then I began to see the understanding of how the field informs literally the structures, and I would catch the transit from one part of town to the next, and you'd see the different changes in the landscape, and I'm on the bus and you see who come on the bus and get off, and just the fields themselves, and how if we can change the field, we can change and influence those who are occupying inside the field. And so again, it puts us in such a position of power that has been out of reach for humans for millennia.
Absolutely. The idea that the structures of the power structures have telephone wires and cell towers and 5G and 6G, all of that is attempting to influence the field.
Yeah.
And the field can be influenced unless you know that you don't want it to be influenced. Once you have awareness and clarity that you are the power in this equation, then the signal, you can hold your own signal from the divine. Like, I know where my signal is coming from, and it's not from a 5G tower.
That's right. Oh, weak, low, elf wave frequency self. I know what you are. Anywho, join us if you have taken your prerequisites, or if you are a Consulate Property Clear and you want to tighten up and refine your skill set, we'll be kicking off today.
Yeah.
So, it's not too late to slide into the class. Just let us know. It's held for the next 4 weeks on Thursdays and Saturdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. So the sign up is on the website. It's on the home page. Also, we're shifting into light body movement, throat chakra. And I actually want to speak on today or ask you questions about and share experiences about how the solar plexus influences all of this.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a lot of people who, we've been told, shut down up, don't talk when I'm talking, and they're shut down, and how their sense of identity or their self-worth and their value is influencing the sound and what, you know what, no, it's not worth saying, and it's just such a distortion, but I have seen through amplifying this is functioning more prominently and stronger.
Absolutely, and it's very clear the precision and clarity with which you are showing our audience of your articulation is an example of what happens through light body. We are all increased by clearing the energy centers and chakras so that the power can come through.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we can talk about that.
Get that darkness out. Get that gunk out. All right, so then light body movement is every first, second, third, and fourth Sunday, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you're like, I want to light up, I want to show me how to light up of the sun, join us. We're having so much fun. We're together 4 weeks, $45 a month. You have access not only to the live streams, the activations, the class documents that are given in each class, and it's something to be said about that group energy when we do these activations. And look, I hope the people in the class, y'all are getting it, because I'm like, oh, it's time. I'm about to bump up. If there's a program or there's something that needs to be transmuted, that's an opportunity because we're coherent and harmonized, unlike, being outside of it and solo and amongst others who aren't on the same wavelength.
Yeah, get right light body.
That's right. We got to make a shirt.
Get right light.
Right light.
Get the get right light so that you can get right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a real
That's
thing.
what's up. Yeah.
And do it amongst others who are wanting to do the same.
Most certainly.
We are encouraging those who are attracted to this to come, and those who are not to not.
Yeah, for real. If you don't want the light, and that's the thing, not everybody wants the light.
And not
that's
everyone's
okay.
ready, and it's all right.
Yeah.
But we're inviting the ones who are ready, so that it's all harmonious.
That's right. Kumbaya. Kunutana. It's we're almost done with our announcements, you all, and we're still trying to make these announcements fun and robust for you. Diane of the Sun, franchisee owner of Inland Studio One. She has her weekly meditations Wednesday midday. Get your little energetic bump up. And I find it's often important to have these checkpoints as we speak about energy hygiene. And it's not just to be reserved to your rising practices, but sometimes you need a recharge.
Well, not only do we need a recharge, we even see it in the world that doesn't operate right. That we know that if we get our bump up in the shower at 6 a.m., that about noon it may have run out. You need to get another bump up that will carry you until you can get home and get your next bump up.
That's real.
I mean, it's a real thing. Think of it as an hourglass that has 4 or 5 hours in it, and then you need another. So it's perfect timing that she has this at midday.
Exactly. So she was doing heart chakra. We just finished with that, and obviously she's going to be doing some throat chakras, and she throw up the mudra, get those nadis activated. And also she has this upcoming Friday Evolutionary Book Club. Sonia Nilsson will be featured as a guest host, speaking about her book. And so it's covering holistic health. And it's interesting because it's a lot of things that crosses over with what we do here at Of a Sun, whether it's fasting. I think she even has things about Qigong. There's even, excuse me.
Was that the Qigong bell?
Maybe. Maybe you're like, it's time, you all. It's time to circulate that Qi. Okay, my phone's on silent. Stop. It was a 1-800 number. So, yeah. So she'll be with Diane speaking about her book. And again, you can join Diane and Sonia at 7 p.m. this Friday. And second and third Fridays, you can join Diane for the Divine Nation Call for the Truth workshop, essentially Truth in Tea, where she's doing 3-card spread usually, get you some insight on what's happening in the morphic field of your reality. And then also I'm pairing tea, because these teas are intuitively selected to match, or the vibrational correspondence of the information to move into the pocket of that field. So funny enough, the truth card, or the spokesperson or spokesherb is peppermint.
Yeah.
You know, that clarifying feel that peppermint gives you.
Yeah.
So it's a thing. So you can join her, and then of course fourth Friday, Quantum Light Property Clearing Chronicles, which we already discussed that. So ready to talk about power?
Sure.
You all ready to talk about power? You all ready to talk about power? Especially if there's something in your experience where you notice that I got this issue with my solar plexus. I recognize this is a thing. Drop something in the comments so we can speak to it, because somewhere around the tail end we'll be getting back to your comments. But really quick, I just want to check you all out, say what's up to everybody who's here and joining us. So again, great big oneness and truth to you all. We got Russ Golston in the house. We have Inlakesh Studio 1 in the house squared over here eating Mediterranean food, enjoying herself, and in the audience we got Stephanie Singletary, Leilion Eri, Sherelle, Stacy OTS, I'm Elijah Wood. Peace, power, wisdom, abundance of prosperity, love, and light. A couple of people keep dropping Harvest Man Cafe, you right. And then we got Gina in the house, Inlakesh and Veritas. She's saying what's up to everyone in the whole of a Sun Universe family. Shaka's here. Look at her. She says, wow, you two look phenomenally freaking fabulous. Your glows are glowing. Let me get my shades. Oh, Shaka. I appreciate that. The glow is glowing. This
I know,
glow, how you glow squared? Yeah. All right. Okay, so we're talking about power. And again, for anyone who's joining late, our card pool today is the maxim: the power that makes solar systems, galaxies, universes, and beyond is the same power that animates our body systems. Don't be afraid to look inside. So I like to get us started by sharing something and maybe get the ball rolling. Okay. So we have been speaking about shifting our identity. Who and what are we? Mm-hmm. And we are the sun, right? Right? But like, what does that mean? How do you bring that into practical application? What does that look like in our day-to-day experience in a dark, dense world? And so as we have been going through the light body, we have spoken about how our identity literally correlates with the idea of solar, being solar, the solar plexus, soul, S-O-U-L, S-O-L, the different names for the sun. And so it's like right in our faces, but sometimes people aren't feeling so solar. Sometimes they feeling like an eclipsed sun, and it's a long eclipse, and maybe a little slither of light. So would you get us started with like the idea of maybe like re-identification, or actually what comes naturally from whatever I'm even sharing right now?
There's so many thoughts I have. When you talk about, it's multidimensional, it's spiritual, mental, and physical. When we talk about the solar plexus, which is here, the solar plexus, we're really speaking about how we identify. But we have already been told this is our solar plexus physical. This is our sun physical. And so we know that the truth seeps through like soul food.
Yeah.
Per sun, the truth seeps through the noise sometimes. And the idea of the way to begin, all of us are products of the environment, of the culture that we live in. We've been cultivated a certain way. And if you're thrilled with your identity, great. But to change your identity is to shift into more. So if we think about what would be a way in which to change our identity, it would be, one of the first ways would be to speak truth before comfort. How many times does someone say, have a good day, and...
line, so lie she tell, or he?
Somebody asks you how you are and you say fine, and it feels perfectly appropriate in the environment of lies. That feels fine.
Yeah.
Lying to your children, telling them about Easter, and rabbits and eggs. And
rabbits laying eggs.
Yeah, that all of the things that, but truth before comfort is a way to shift out of the identity that you have been cultivated into to a stronger, more truthful experience that then communicates itself. So I'm not sure if you all know, but one of the things that happens with the aging brain is when it has lack of newness, the brain begins to atrophy. It begins to uh, be less than it is. So the changing of identity is a way to keep your brain moving forward. The brain wants newness. It wants the experience of growth. It wants the experience of expansion. So if you live in the same house your grandmother lived in and you're sitting on the same furniture you always lived on, you work at the same job for 50 years, that's fine if that's what you want. However, if you would like more cognitive function, if you would like more power, shift, do something new. Even if you go back to that same experience, go and experience something new, read a new book, have a new idea, sing a new song, all of the things. The identity, the solar plexus, is not separate, so that identity communicates to the brain and says, we need to make new brain cells. We got something new to look at. We're not eating the same can of soup. We're not doing Campbell's no more. We're not doing
No,
fast
we're not.
food no more. We're going to cook our food. We're going to grow our food. That's all new. So how big the new is entirely up to you, and you may need bite-sized pieces. But the solar plexus then sends that identity. Ooh, I'm shifting. I'm harvest man. You know, that shifts that to the heart, which is now the collective us. And the heart stabilizes the new identity. And then next thing you know, somebody's saying, that's right, I'm sorry, I'm harvest man.
Who that?
The
That's me.
next thing you know,
Yeah.
the person is filling the field with the truth of the new experience, giving us all more cognitive opportunity. So this is so necessary for health, well-being, and longevity. To live long and prosper, you have to have a new identity all the time. When a baby is born, they don't stay a baby. When a 10-year-old is 10, they don't stay 10. The push of evolution is in front of us. We can see we're supposed to be changing.
It's that word right there. As you have been speaking, in my mind, I've been saying, this is a thorough flushing out of what we refer to as evolution. This constant ongoing change. But I love the way how you said, especially taking us through what happens as the energy's moving through each center. And would you show us like the detriment? What happens in terms of the flip side of that, the information or the sense of staying the same, complacent with the identity and the heart and the throat?
It's very easy. All we have to do is think about what happens to food in the refrigerator.
Oh, it get moldy. It get stinky.
It changes, but it doesn't change towards its progression.
Ooh, yeah.
It starts to deconstruct, which we should have respect for the process of deconstruction, but it is not the same process as living.
It's like back to the source you go.
Yes, oh, nothing new is happening. I've had plastic on me in the refrigerator for 2 weeks. I am going to return back to a place in which I can have a new identity.
Oh, that's so fascinating. That's such a
So I'm not going to
unique way to look at
identify
that.
as whatever you put me in here.
Yeah.
I'm going to return and identify as other levels of digression as I return back to a place where I can be made a new identity again. It's a cycle.
That's deep.
Yeah,
To see this
that's
process.
That's the universal system, that you will be new one way or the other.
Yeah. Oh, you're all right. Bring you back. Gonna take you through composition, decomposition, and
Yes.
become something else.
You will have a new identity because there is nothing but extinction in staying the same.
It's so interesting because I'm seeing it happen with humanity right now.
Yes.
The deconstruction due to the unwillingness to evolve into exaltation.
Well, it is all what I think is important, and what I would offer to the audience is that don't be afraid of the deconstruction.
Yeah.
Something new is coming. Might be better than anything that ever was.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid that the world is deconstructing. Embrace it. Embrace that there will be a clean playing field for us to build on. And then work on your own identity changing. Do the thing. If you're not healthy, start doing things that make you more healthy. Uh, if you're older, do things to make yourself younger. If you're not exercising, exercise. Whatever it is, give yourself the opportunity to shift into more novelty, more newness, so that you can stay here and participate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll meet you at the
Yeah. You're going to have to take you out to the compost. Go through the process here.
But that's okay. We can use compost.
Yeah, compost. It's cool.
We're not mad.
Yeah.
But
is that is that in the plan
choose.
though?
Yeah, but it's really up to the soul. If you have done what you want to do and you're no longer inspired, then go be something new somewhere else. But if you want to stay here, being new here would help you stay physically fit, mentally fit. The psychosis that is infecting our world happens from people trying to stay in, Disney World, trying to stay in the, childhood, trying to stay in what got them high 20 years ago. That's not growth.
Yeah.
That's just stagnancy. Stagnancy leads to extinction. And extinction can be used as compost.
Beautifully said. So I'd like to pivot a little bit and talk more about the experience of power within the dynamic of relationships.
Yeah.
And so it's something that many of us have experienced where, I'll give a couple of different examples. Being in a conversation with someone and then noticing blue with your solar plexus, or maybe you're not even in a conversation, maybe you just think of the person or think of something, and then you can feel the diminishment in the solar plexus, almost like you got hit in your solar plexus physically, or a little stomach ache, something's off, where there's a clear indicator my identity is challenged. And so I have seen through observing myself as a case study that it seems like our conditioning by default, there's this spillage. I like to use the example, and you've heard me say this a number of times. So it's as though we don't have our hands on the wheel in terms of our staying within our power and the truth of who we are. And it's like we contract and like there's a spillage of the power or prolapsing, so to say, and then someone can take it. And it's funny because we feel as though someone's, they're trying to take my energy. No, you gave it. You gave it. But what I've seen on the flip side is, again, through the conscious observance, moment to moment, of what happens when I think of this person, or when I'm in this space, or when I have confrontation. Am I retaining my power, or is it leaking out? And making sure we bring ourselves up. I've noticed, oh my gosh, this is a very different experience, but it requires keeping hands on the wheel. So would you speak about this, more about this idea of how we just kind of freely give and no one's really taking because we're consenting in some shape or form, and allowing it, and the need to shift that perspective of the dynamic?
I would take you back to the natural world. Have you ever seen nature movies or been in a place where you see lions have to teach lions how to hunt?
Yeah. If not, then we'll cause might be vegetarian.
Yeah, and birds have to teach birds how to fly. It's not a given that you come here knowing to protect yourself. It's the purpose for being here, is to learn to protect yourself. So in the same way that I use the analogy that when a baby is born, it fights its way into this realm. And then it often has to get up in the animal kingdom and run. That's it, learning the first understandings of this realm.
Yeah. It's like, I'm here. It's like baby deer.
So here we're talking about it for humanity. This is the same analogy. So the child must be taught to protect their dream world. They have to be taught what to wake up and say inside the dream. We have to be taught that our identity belongs to us and we don't give the authority for our identity to someone we think we love or someone who's wearing a white coat or a hat or a crown or whatever it is. And so these we need to take our hands from away from our necks and strangling ourselves because we recognize we've given away our power. Stop it. Get it back. You know, you don't have to be angry with yourself because you did it. No one taught you because they didn't know. They suffered. Your parents didn't know either. So now that the information is available, embrace it and start teaching yourself that you need to be a bit detached and that there is no greater than you. There is only you and your other you. There is no one, you don't fall in love with somebody like, oh, take all my stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, stop playing that song. Cut it off. They're trying to get us.
Here's my bank accounts. Here's all of the deeds to all the things, and you can have. And if I think of you, I'll become limp.
Right?
Because
Yeah.
you know, that's us not having been taught because there was no one to teach us.
True.
And we don't need to be angry with ourselves, but if you recognize yourself in that, it's time to change.
All right. Speaking of change, I need to change your mic because these flowy garments.
Yeah.
Shifting of the mics. Okay.
So
'Cause you in it. You a lot of motion here. But please continue.
The reality is that we now must discipline ourselves and be willing to learn how to protect ourselves. Otherwise, everyone in this realm has been taught to be a parasite.
Yes.
So, because the ones who run the realm are parasites.
Yeah.
So we are just paying attention to the architecture of our world. And the architecture of our world is take.
Yeah. That's what we doing, huh? We gotta take. Y'all taking from us, and so this okay. I take.
So one way
Parasitically.
to begin to break it, I've already mentioned, one way to begin to break the cycle is when you know that if you're going to say something to the lover who thinks less of you, or this, the person who thinks, well, you're not as good as I am, when you know that whatever you're in your mind to say and you don't say it, say it. Truth before comfort. That takes back the power. You have the right to think the thought. If you use your voice, you create a new reality. It has to come from the identity center, then it has to be stabilized through the heart. And now we change the dynamic through speaking it, but we have all stuffed our changing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say that because he won't like that. I said, it's likely he won't.
Forget that.
It is likely he will not like it.
I have learned.
Say it twice.
I have learned also that I am not responsible for managing people's evolutionary process, especially when the truth has to be said.
I agree with you. I have learned that I am responsible for managing my evolutionary process, and I cannot evolve if I keep pandering to your low levels of understanding, and if I keep feeding you my divine precious energy. No, thank you. Bring me back my energy.
That's right. Run that.
That's divine precious, and I'll take that back. Thank you. It's to put it in my bag.
A little satchel.
Wear it on my belt. Thank you very much.
I know she has actually little satchels. She wears around the way, like little magical sprinkle.
Stop it.
Okay, all right. So, but this is real. This is really what we're going through here. We're really experiencing this weird distortion of just the spillage and the giving of power, and then in most cases, not even knowing we can take it back. But I want to go back to what you were saying about parasitic, because we recently did freedom release. And running in tandem with that class was energetic protection and defense. In the energetic protection and defense, we literally have a section called parasitic manipulation to understand it. And so you were saying earlier, alluding to, not just alluding to it, but speaking about how what's outside, or the dark forces, whatever you want to call these energies that are adverse to life or anti-life, it needs us, and it is nothing without us in the same capacity as a parasite. And so would you elaborate a little further on that type of how we can move more into that understanding?
Again, I want to take you back to nature. This is not me saying this. This is what creation says. Creation says that if someone tries to take something from your baby and you're a cat, you're not having it. You know, you will pull out your claws and back them up.
Yeah, it makes hissing sounds, anything to just like, you don't want this smoke. You don't want this.
Like I know the baby would look like they were by themselves, but they're not by themselves. And so parasites back up. So we need to get more. That is it being in adherence to universal law. The law is protect ourselves and protect the ones that we are responsible for. We have lost that understanding as a whole. Not everyone, but are our schools doing that?
No. It's very obvious.
Clearly. Are our churches doing that?
No.
Have the world religions taught us that? Is that what's in the morphic field? If it is not, start with you. Say the uncomfortable thing. What are you trying to do? What are you doing with her? What did you just say? Would you repeat that let me get the mic.
Yeah.
So this is say the thing that arises from your identity as a divine being. You see it's wrong. Don't be like, ooh, let me look the other way. I don't want to be disturbed. I don't want to get in trouble. Every time you think that's their business. Are they humans? Are they on the planet? Are they where you can see them? Did divine providence put them in front of you for you to look at? And you're like, it's not your business? How did that happen?
Yeah, that sounds like neglect.
And so these are the ways we look at nature. What does nature do when somebody tries to attack another thing? We see elephants rescuing other animals.
Yeah, that's been interesting to see those type of videos of interaction, even sometimes predator-prey type dynamics where they actually work together.
Yeah, so that's a clue to us. If you saw that, then that's your lesson. Why did that come in front of you? If you saw that, maybe you need to be more of that. If you see somebody pushing somebody around or mistreating somebody, you have the right to say something. And if they say it's not your business, you can let them know that it wouldn't be in front of me if it weren't my business.
I want to run it back a little bit. When you were speaking about this issue of truth over comfort and our difficulty with expressing the truth, I'm seeing where we have spoken about passivity and assertiveness. And our guidance has shared with us, light is assertive. The sun, that's some assertive energy. It is not passive by any means. It's not that there isn't a place for passivity, but we are passive to our detriment, where we are a walking mat. And the fear of confronting or even calling out negativity. I want to share really quick. I had to do that to someone, a cashier. I'm not going to go into all the way into the story, but the moral is that I saw the microaggression and I had to call it out. And I've noticed that sometimes people on this path, they fear calling things out because, I don't want to be low vibrational. I'm not looking to get into a fight. But I have seen that you can speak the truth without a negative charge to it. You don't have to be all emotional. And what has helped me stay within that space is retaining my power. I'm not attached to them, but I recognize this is out of order and something needs to be said. And so it might be as simple as like, I'm on the road and, you cut me off, honk. I'm going to honk at you. I'm not yelling or mad, but like, I'm going to acknowledge you and let you know I see you. And so I can see where it's needed in our dynamic, but there's so much of this passivity and this weird like incongruency with sharing the truth or not knowing how to deliver the truth. One other thing I'll share to build on this, I've heard clients say, I can't speak the truth to people because people can't handle the truth from me, and they this and that. And I'm just like, no, because you're trying to punch them in the throat with the truth. Truth is fixed, and however, it can be packaged in a different way that doesn't contain the emotional charge. How can we like shift this passivity into being more assertive in a balanced way where we don't like lose ourselves in this emotional or vibrational entanglement?
Yeah, we have to. It's the second tenet. The first tenet is, speak truth. But then the second tenet is be in obedience to the law. Who are you talking to? You're talking to your other self. It's like a mother with a child. I don't need to hurt the child to teach the child.
Yeah.
I don't need to say, don't talk to me that way, and then follow it up with a switch.
Yeah.
I'm like, You know, the natural consequence of having been told has weight. The truth has weight. It
Yeah.
has the weight of correction for those who are ready to be corrected. There's free will. The child who's not ready to be corrected may have to have an escalating experience. You know?
I got another one. I'm seeing where, again, this is great. Truth has weight. And then to take it back a little bit, um, we don't have to smack the person up.
No.
The truth in and of itself, it takes care of it. You know, it's almost like we are so like gung ho about I gotta be the enforcer of your, you know, your punishment. You know, the universe put me in charge to make sure you get yours. And it's like, no, let me just speak the truth. So, along with this, I'm like, okay, how can people speak the truth but be detached from how they take the truth? Because there is reactions we have in our lexicon of you can't handle the truth or the truth will piss you off, you know, but then it'll free you, you know, once you know. But it's like this weird demagnetization with truth and then this fear of how they take the truth.
Some of it has to do with your own identity and your clarity. I can always take it back to the parent. If I know that if a child drinks something, it'll make them sick and they'll be just uncomfortable because they're not at the level of understanding, I don't mind being clear and firm with, no, this is not good for you, you can't drink it. Why would I be any different about anything else? Why, if I'm talking to the husband or my sister or my aunt, if I am asked, if I'm asked,
Like asterisk sign, disclaimer.
if I am asked or if the situation requires clarity and I have the clarity, then I have to be free of the fallout. And in being free of the fallout, there's less fallout.
Yeah.
Part of the fallout is you're anticipating they're going to fall out.
Ooh, shaky knees.
Yeah, like, I don't want to tell you, you know, that you look like you got dressed in the dark. You know, you got on 5 different patterns, and I wouldn't go out if I were you because it's not going to go well. You know, and they're like, you know, this looks great. I decided this is exactly how I want it to look. I'm like, I have at it. Go out in the street, see what happens.
Truth over comfort. But then it'll be the same person who's like, why you let me go out like that? Why nobody said anything to me?
You know, like, who wants to be with the person who won't tell you got spinach on your teeth?
You know, I am like, look, that is not a friend. That is not an ally. I don't know what that is, but you are not for me.
How mad at them are you going to be? You have a moment of embarrassment and you'll get over it and you move on.
Yeah, but in the
and
dynamic,
you're grateful, like, ooh, I'm taking you with me everywhere because you'll tell me, because that other girlfriend of mine wouldn't tell me.
Yeah, she just let me go out with the boog.
I had toilet paper dragging behind me through the whole time. Nobody said a word.
Yeah, but so what is that? It's like even people we care about, it's like even these small little things where asserting correction for the betterment, even from that level, it's like this fear.
Because people won't always receive it properly, but you have to be detached. You know, I say to somebody, you got toilet paper on your shoe, and they're like, mind your own business. I'm like, okay, keep that toilet paper, girl. I'm like, I'm fine. You want to wear all them different colors, look like you got dressed in the dark, okay. Like, you have to be detached from the outcome. You want to give truth, but the idea is to be in service. And when we're talking to those who are close to us, we have to remember to not deliver the truth as a death blow. Because sometimes some of us haven't learned to balance our identity center, and we think that we're the doom squad.
Yeah.
But we have to remember, are you speaking to someone you love? Then speak to them like you love them. You know, and if they don't, and if they fall out, they fall out. Step over them on your way out the door.
You'll be all right. This too shall pass.
Yes, but we need to deliver the truth, even though it's truth before comfort and it may be a thing. We still have to, who are we talking to? Are we talking to a stranger on the bus? Or are we talking to an employee where we work? Are we talking to our child? truth before comfort, but also who am I talking? Let me deliver the truth so that it's palatable and that what my energy is being served and serves us all. Not where, I'm in charge and you're not. I'm on the high horse, you on the ground.
Yeah, that's that off-world colonization energy and
Yeah, like,
dominating control and
stop that.
yeah.
Stop trying to make people do the thing you think they should do. Your husband asks you for a divorce, and you're like, well, I don't want to give him a divorce, but it's too late. You have already done the things that inspired him to ask for the divorce. So now you're going to try and make him be better.
No, it's too late. We missed that window. It's making me think about property clearinghouse.
So what happens is you make you be better, and it may be that can come back together again if that's what you want. And it may not be what you want. It may be that that's not a thing. I have several cases now where people are at a point where their identity is changing because it's necessary, because the world is changing. They cannot go any further in the identity they have. They are not inspired to, and the hallmark would be things, and this is where the power is, card is power, is if you died tomorrow, would you be good? Could you say, yeah, I had a few giggles, I lived my life, I did what I wanted to do, I had these great children, I had a marriage or two maybe, whatever it is, and I'm good. If it's anything less than that, if you're thinking, I gave up the best years of my life and I don't have any inspiration and I'm not, then you do need to find something that inspires you. Otherwise, you have added to the pot of depression, sadness, and unhappiness that the earth is currently in. So it is incumbent upon you to find a way to be happy. It's incumbent of you to find a way to raise your frequency, to be inspired, to add that to the pot. And if you can find it where you are, great. And if some things expire, some things live their life and then they come to the end and then there's another thing, that's okay.
Sounds like evolution.
It is evolution, and we don't need to be stuck in cultural and religious constructs that don't allow for such a thing to happen. Evolution cannot be denied. One way or another, the planet will keep evolving.
You either gonna become light or become compost. You got options in varying degrees.
Right, and so choose the highest expression for self and for family. Remember, you can deliver the truth, you can deliver the power, but we should remember, are we talking to our other self? Speak to the person from the perspective of remembering, I love you. So let me give this to you with all of that frequency in it. Hopefully that's something you can digest. And if not, maybe you'll digest it in 20 years. Either way, I've done my part.
So I want to speak on this one last idea with you before we go to our commercial break. And by the way, if you all are resonating with this, let us know, drop a comment. If there's a question you have about something regarding your solar plexus, drop it in the comments so we can review it when we return back from our commercial break. And you continue to say multiple times about that's our other self, that's the other you, and the oneness. The book does say you are one, right? And seeing that within the connectivity. And I'd like you to speak a little bit on the experiences that are possible when we realize that, and how just like the sun, we could give life. It doesn't have to be where, like you said earlier, the collapse and the fall, the information could actually, correction. And there's something that we received the communication from Central Sun, our sun, and the sun was informing us about the embodiment of being, I'm going to say sons of the sun. It didn't use that language, but
it did actually use
okay,
that
maybe
language.
it did. I'd be bringing forth and I'd be like, I don't remember.
I did that.
Yeah, thank you. But sons of the sun, and how, again, using the sun as a reference point in what it does, and this idea of it's giving life, it's sustaining, and how it feels to be within that energy, and adopting this. So I kind of want to go into the power of when we recognize no matter what, I'm going to shine, and how that makes others greater. Like whether it's your family, I've shared stories with you, my recent trips to see them. People want to fast. People over here want to make nut milks and things and like change their life. I gotta lose some weight because how you got all that energy. And but seeing how you're not trying to control, you're focused on you. You shine in truth over comfort, and how that inspires people.
So, to understand that we are solar beings, we need to understand what is the sun and its representation of the divine
Yes.
masculine. The sun is the power that brings correction and order and life to what the vision of the divine feminine is. The divine feminine has the vision, Mother Earth. She has the vision and all the stuff. But the sun brings the power of correction, brings the power of growth, it brings the power of order to that. So once we understand that, we are both divine masculine and divine feminine at varying levels up and down the scale of that, depending on what the circumstance is and what our tendencies and particulars are. So when we are making our own identity correct, we are in service to all. It is being within the divine laws, because when we have a clarity of our power, everybody is served. We are all served. If you are more powerful, I am served. If I am more powerful than my children, then they are served. If my children become more powerful, then we are all served, and their children are served, and all the children that follow. The power is the necessity. It is necessary for us to put order, correction, and growth to the plan that already exists as the divine feminine. That the idea that you're building the house and what's being used, and the architectural drawings are already done, and the ingredients, all of the minerals and all of the things that exist are already there. Now you bring it together with your power. It serves us all, and we are both of those expressions in varying levels and degree that we can pull out depending on what the circumstance is. I'm not sure if I answered the question.
You did, and it took us places that we're gonna have to get back to. However, it's very inspiring. It shows us possibilities of what could be if we adopt the new identity. You let go of whatever the hell we think we are, because whatever we've been overlaid with is not the truth, and adopt this new perspective on what real power is and how it literally lifts everything.
Everything. The idea of the masculine being in right motion, in action, to shine.
Yeah.
The shine.
That's what we're born to do.
Yeah, the shine brings order. It brings correction to what has, the first expression is the feminine, and that's the idea. That's the concept. That's the what needs to be built, and all of the ingredients that are in it. If we understood that, that is the power. When we speak to each other from the different extensions of the polarities of the divine masculine or the divine feminine, if we speak from this level of respect, I know who you are. I would love somebody to put a mic in my, what is a woman? Oh, I can't wait. Let me tell you.
That was a wild time. People was like,
What is a man? I have birth men. I can tell you what they are. I know what they are. I know I'm womb man. I know what that means. That clarity is power. Get you some of the clarity of the truth of who you are. Look in the mirror, call it forth. Take a class. Do the thing.
do the thing, do the thing. Speaking of the thing, we're going to go to commercial break. Stick with us as you are, if you're willing. If you want to continue being in this sunlight, radiant suns within suns or amongst suns. We're going to go to our commercial break with our sponsor today, Aluka Inc. Aluka Inc. specializes in assets management, wealth protections, and investment. This is someone who is part of the Sun in Dubai, messaging Lauta regularly. He's a supporter of what we do, and it's also interesting to see he's talking about more than gold. He's over here talking about like Rothschild and conspiracies. I'm like, look at you. However, the idea is that systems are changing, things are happening, and if you do have funds that you want to invest into real assets, You know, he's our guy. So here's a little snippet of one of his commercials, and we'll be right back.
Truth before comfort all day
So,
long.
what does the future of money look like to you, Alex?
The future of money won't be about what we use. It'll be about who we trust. We're heading into a world where money is no longer paper. It's data. Central bank, digital currency.
I wanted to double check. I know we got Diane monitoring the live. Can you see it? Is it? As long as it's playing, because the user interface is it's not showing the video at all. So we're gonna have to clear this or do something. Yeah. All right. So
We'll just play it because it's the message.
Currencies,
Yeah.
programmable payments, and surveillance systems will redefine how value moves. But here's the twist. The more digital it gets, the more people will crave something real. That's why gold and silver aren't disappearing. They're becoming the anchor in a world of floating code. Money will evolve technologically, but it will always revolve around trust. And digital systems can't replicate 5,000 years of human belief in tangible value. The future of money? Digital convenience built on physical truth. The code will change, but the collateral won't. Because in every era, old or new, gold stays the final receipt.
So that's so interesting because
Yeah.
it hits different when you're just listening to the audio versus the
Yeah.
visual, and it echoes much of the sentiment shared. Like this is the truth, going inside, you know, and how that correlates or corresponds in our reality with,
Right.
you know, it's so interesting. But then also the psyop to try to get us into something artificial.
And I kept myself from talking about that because that's another podcast.
Yeah.
You know, the psyop that makes us think that the code is the signal, but the signal is the truth. So that's another
Yeah,
podcast.
like signal is the truth. I'm gonna have to note that. Yeah, because that's a thing. We can totally look at that within the solar plexus, because a lot of the experiences that I've been having has been through taking that understanding and also imparting it upon clients and students alike, where there is a signal being broadcasted back from the field. How you choose to respond to the signal, that's up to you.
Yeah, you would
know.
start writing your own code. You can write your code in detriment, or you can write your code in exaltation.
That's right. And so I'm about to get to this chat and see you all,
Yeah.
see what's going on in the chat. So also want to thank you all for sticking with us today and this highly vibrational conversation about power and how to navigate it and utilize it in a balanced way that, again, supports all life instead of, you know, being like these off-world, interdimensional, colonizing anti-life beings. But we don't want to get out too much energy. So we got a couple of comments here. People are dropping quotes. Truth over comfort. I'm going to go back to that Shaka Warrior comment. Wow, you two look phenomenally freaking fabulous. Your glows are glowing. Hold on, let me show that on the screen. She said, your glows are glowing, y'all. I'm going to use that. I'm going to make it my affirmation. My glow is glowing. My glow is glowing. It's like glow squared. All right. Julianne is here. She says, the collective field gives power away because being saved feeds a lack of responsibility as well as being whole with the one.
Being saved is a delusion.
Yo.
That's a delusion. That's the psyop.
Many people are waiting. I'm waiting on the aliens. I'm waiting on Jesus. I'm waiting on the government.
Are you saved?
Do you know Jesus? Which one? Korean Jesus? White Jesus? Black Jesus? Mexican Jesus Jesus?
The idea of asserting power, which is our card today, is the truth. The truth is we are powerful and we can do with that power what we will. This landscape, this realm that we are in, gives us the opportunity to do so. We can play with it. We can repeat. We can come back to this realm again and again and again and again in that cycle of education, or we can be inspired to ask to go beyond it. Yeah. I'm glad Julianne mentioned that, because that is one of the big issues. Is the idea of being saved is always attributed to someone else saving you. It's not as if you save yourself. Like, save yourself. It's not
I was
like
just having a conversation with your grandson. We were driving, and I don't remember exactly how it came up, but how the system of governance in our society has conditions us to, you don't need to worry yourself about that. Let us take care of it.
yeah.
And like seeing where that has gotten us.
Bother your poor little pretty
Yeah.
head.
And matter of fact, you can't even calculate and deduce what's to be done.
Yeah.
Let us take care of this.
Yeah.
And,
You just memorize those dates that are not real in history. You do that with your brain. You keep your brain busy with that.
You don't want to talk about that stuff?
And then you will have cognitive difficulty as you age because there's no newness, and what is your head is filled with is not the truth. Truth before comfort. All the erasing of the truth of history is the uncomfortable reality that will decompose a brain that's not able to have new ideas or things that resonate deeply with the truth of reality. Turn your face to nature if you're confused about how things should be. You know, see who doesn't fight when something tries to get it, who doesn't run, who doesn't fight.
Mm-hmm.
See what you do. What do you do when somebody attacks you? Do you collapse and let them eat you?
I get hotter. I get hotter.
Yeah,
Start heating up.
But just look at nature to see, turn your face away from any constructs that are not harmonized with what we can see all around us in nature, you know, and move into that direction and look deeper. Everything is not what it appears to be on the surface. There is harmony going on, and there is survival going on, but there is a lot of harmony happening between different species, the planet, and humans that is not highlighted. But you can see some of it if you look for it.
Yeah. All right, so we got a couple more comments here. And thank you again, Julianne. We have Gina. This is back to when you were referencing the love songs. She says, when I sing love songs, I sing them about myself or to myself. I think that's a wonderful way to flip it. You know, as long as it's not like heartbreak songs, but, you know, like to big yourself up.
Absolutely.
You know, praise yourself. And
absolutely.
That's a nice flip. Stacy dropped the comment, truth before comfort. That's right. I noted for us to do a podcast focus on it, because what you were just saying in terms of like what's happening with us with a mind filled with lies.
Yeah.
And, you know, you hear the lie enough, you start believing it. And
Well, you become the lie. And the lie does not have enough structure to uphold your physical coding. This is technology. The technology can't run on lies.
and then you start decomposition.
Yeah, it's like you can't run a car on sugar.
You know.
You know, you can't run this technology on lies because it is established in truth. Your body was established divinely in truth. You fill yourself up with lies, and the body will not function properly. None of the organs will respond to a lie the way they will respond to the truth, and it has its inevitable end, which is not good. The idea is not to avoid death; it's to die well. To not die in pieces.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're going to avoid death, and it's not that you want to stay here forever. That's retarded.
Yeah.
You don't want to stay in the same place forever. That's exactly the idea of no novelty. You want to live life, you know, wonderfully with lots of experience and richness of your interactions, and then that truth let you die peacefully and move on to the next thing, because whatever happens in this life is the next life. You are manifesting your next experience. If you're depressed, sad, unhappy, you're manifesting the next experience. You have chosen what the next life will look like. Be happy.
Message.
Yeah, be happy.
All right, so we got Shaka Warrior. She says, it looks like it's a two-part comment. Just as the sun radiates light and energy from within itself, you are meant to generate your own energy, clarity, and presence from your own inner core. It was so real, she had to say almost the same thing twice, but it looks like the second part is a little different. Just as the sun radiates light and energy from within itself, you are meant to generate your own energy, clarity, and presence from your inner core. You are a solar-powered being.
I love this, and it's so the truth. You know, the intelligence of creation doesn't leave trash on the streets for the rats. the intelligence of creation recycles everything, and everything serves us, as we were talking about
Yeah.
decomposition, everything.
Morphic field.
So
Taurus.
the intelligence of being a being that we are self-generating beings, but we have turned off our switch.
Yeah.
We have done it. They didn't make us do it. They understood how to make us do it.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel you, where we would be willingly consenting to it and to circumvent
So
law.
light body movement is turning the switch back on. So what you see today, and every time you see us, is the switch being turned back on.
Flame on!
This is the signal in the sky.
That's right.
You know, all of us have this capacity. It is so clear that the sun doesn't need us to switch it off and on. When the sun leaves, darkness has its opportunity, but when the sun comes back, the darkness must go. It has no choice. The sun shows up, it's already gone. It knew it was coming. It already knew. So we are that. We are the self-generating, self-energizing, and also being able to spread it to all others in our morphic field. We are that because that's how creation works. Until we grow into the next iteration of the greatness of what that will be. You know, so we should be looking at the sun as the model. That is the model of who we are. We only go to sleep at night because we have detoured from the original blueprint. We only are being able to be fed wrong because we have deterred from the original blueprint. As we go into light body and get closer and closer to the nutrition from the earth, the air, and the sun, we get closer to being self-generating. And the further you are from that reality is the further you are from the truth of reality.
I'm thinking so many things. I'm excited on the inside. It brings forth a variety of topics of like truly understanding who and what we are. You know, you speak so eloquently about referring to the body as technology. You know, changing how we identify. However, I feel like that's for another podcast. So we're going to continue. Thank you, Shaka, for the comment.
Yes, very inspiring, Shaka.
So Le Leon, this is kind of funny here. The sun don't give a damn if you're hot. She put a little sun emoji and emoji's red face. You better go drink some water.
And you wouldn't be so hot if you were not full of things you shouldn't be, you know.
Like the opposite of the truth of what you are, not being the design of the light, you know.
Yeah, like you can, you know, the sun is your friend, and you can adjust yourself with the right thought. It's like everything else. If you are fasting and you don't think right, you're starving. If you're in the sun and you're dying of heat, it's because you haven't identified with the sun in you. It's really like that.
Yeah.
It's really like that. And it's that way for the cold as well. Our original blueprint adjusts our temperature, but we have moved away from that through not understanding that it's possible.
Yeah.
It's like, how are we going to get it to work when we don't believe it's possible? You know, try that with somebody. Try getting somebody to do something that you don't believe can be done. Then try to make your technology do it.
I'm not gonna think too hard because I might hurt my head.
So that's it's so good to have you all comment.
Yeah, we got a couple of more. Let me read like 2 or 3 more, and then we're gonna head out here. So we have Gina. She said there used to be a woman at work who always had dry buggies, and when I would tell her, she would thank me because she said, "Who knows how long she had it." And who she talked to at the hospital. So it's back to the, you know, being able to share truth
Before
to
comfort.
support someone.
Yes, that's love.
Yes.
That's love. That's like, let me help you so that people won't look at you and think poorly of you. That's generosity. Instead of, let me just look away.
Yeah.
That's generosity. Good for you. And may the same thing happen. And something uncomfortable, somebody let you know.
Indeed. Right, so we're gonna have to check into Riverside and see what's going on. But they said some people could hear it, some people couldn't. Definitely, we couldn't see the video. So everyone will check into that and see what's going on with the sharing of the media. However, we got one last thing here. It looks like Gina said, and we're gonna go ahead and head out. Gina says, "I felt it to my core soul when Lao Tzu said she asks to never wish to be saved by someone. This is what I was taught, yet I can feel that just when I'm about to get somewhere, I sabotage myself. Because I doubt my greatness, I have been hanging out with nature." So she said, because I doubt my greatness, that's why. And then she further says, "I've been hanging out with nature and birds, learning bird calls."
Yay! I love that. That is so wonderful. It's the idea of being with the birds. The birds actually grow the leaves on the tree, not the tree.
That's real.
The birds
It's a science.
sing.
Look it up.
The birds sing the frequency that inspires the tree to release the leaves. Good for you. Like, learn that bird call, girl.
That's right. Chirp, chirp.
Yeah. Grow those leaves.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm tempted to do bird sounds, but we're not gonna
There's
do that.
so many things that are inspired by what you all say that I don't normally have a chance to talk about, that I'm so grateful to our audience, to all of you, for your comments, because you really inspire things that are adjacent to the topics, but also things that I would probably never speak about. Just the thought of birdsong is
Yeah.
making me very happy. Just the fact that you said it, thank you.
Yeah. You got birds on your fit.
I do. I do have birds. There's one.
Yeah. You see it? Yeah, they can see it. All right, cool, man. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And again, we thank you all for joining us. And for anybody last minute looking to slide into Quantum Light Property Clearing today, 6 p.m. to 9 every Thursday and Saturday for the next 4 weeks throughout April, we're diving in, reconstructing, reinforming, reshaping the morphic field so we can change and inspire a difference in the behavior, the identity of the occupants. We are lifting the morphic field. We are raising the consciousness on the planet through reshaping the environment. You got
You
something?
want to see your power? Become a property clear. Nobody can take it away from you. It's undeniable. You can wipe away levels of darkness, levels of abuse. You can change the morphic field for humanity. It's a reality. Get you some of that.
Yeah, and if you want to know more about it, check out those Quantum Chronicles that we're doing. And we have a ton of stories, whether it's travel clearings. We're going to be talking about clearing animals within spaces because it's a thing, and how they take on the interferences that accumulate. We're going to be talking about a lot of different facets, so stay tuned. And then, of course, this Friday, join Diane, Evolutionary Book Club with Sonia Nilsson, You Thing. And then later in the week, actually, stay tuned for more announcements. Lao Tzu has an upcoming class in the month of
I'm
May.
very excited
It's going
to
to be a
talk
soul
about.
translation, but we'll get there when we get there. So until then, we thank you all for joining us. Any final thoughts?
Yes, with honor, respect, gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. Thank you.